Hello everyone, welcome to our channel. In today's vlog we will take you to Fuerteventura, an island that people either hate or love. But before you make your own decision, we would like to show you all its facets with the most beautiful beaches in Canaries, charming little towns, and rocky volcanic landscape contrasting with huge crowded hotels and sometimes not so great cuisine. Make sure to stay tuned and don't forget to subscribe to our channel to see our vlogs from the Canary Islands and many other amazing places in Europe. Hello everyone, welcome to our channel. In this vlog we are going to explore the most beautiful places in Fuerteventura, but firstly let me show you our accommodation. Our base for the first few days was the quiet hillside village of Villa Verde in La Oliva in the north of the island, which turned out to be ideal as we were close to the most beautiful beaches, popular sand dunes, as well as the touristy Corralejo and another charming town called El Cotillo. In general, the north of the island is the place where most of the attractions are located. In La Oliva we rented a country house with a pool on Airbnb, which was 120 euros per night for 4 people. As always, we will link it in the description down below. In case of Canary Islands, we strongly recommend looking for accommodations on Airbnb because we noticed that the choice is much better than, for example, on Booking.com. The same applies to Gran Canaria and Tenerife. Especially if you're looking for a nice villa with a pool for more than 2 people, you won't find many of these on other platforms.
On our first day we visited the town of El Cotillo, and as we found out later, it was the best destination we've been to during our entire stay. It charmed us with its laid-back atmosphere, beautiful sunsets, and the fact that in the evening it's bustling with life and has a cool, authentic vibe, rather than being a typical tourist destination. At the small bay in the center of the town, people party, play guitar and wait for the sunset while sipping on wine or sangria. There are 2 nice beaches there, El Cotillo Beach and La Concha.
One restaurant in El Cotillo that we could highly recommend is Olivo Corso. It is serving delicious tapas and local cuisine. As it turned out later, it was our best meal in Fuerteventura. Dishes especially worth mentioning are the octopus, Canarian potatoes, papas arrugadas with 2 sauces, mojo rojo and mojo verde, fried goat cheese with marmalade, which is very popular in Fuerteventura, as well as traditional Spanish croquettes.
Another magical place you can't miss in Fuerte is Dunas de Corralejo. We highly recommend coming here for the sunset. Keep in mind that the sun sets behind the mountains and not over the ocean, but it still looks pretty amazing. This desert area is one of the cooler things to see on the island. It reminds a bit of the scenes from the Breaking Bad series. The road leading to the dunes also looks like from a movie. It stretches for miles with fine sand slowly blown over it by strong winds. The seaside town of Corralejo didn't particularly impress us. Very touristy, a lot of suspicious people who want to sell some not necessarily legal stuff, and unfortunately also a lot of low quality gastronomy to cater to the needs of mass tourism. Beautiful vast beaches with fine white sand and the blue ocean are the hallmarks of Fuerteventura. You won't find beaches like this in any other of the Canary Islands. The most beautiful ones that you must visit are El Bajo, Playa del Dormidero, Grandes Playas Corralejo and Playa Larga. They are all next to each other, and in fact each one of them would be a good choice. The beaches are located next to the famous dunes, and it's actually hard to tell where the dunes end and the beaches begin. We really like the area next to Playa del Dormidero, because there were almost no people there at all, and by choosing a spot behind the dunes, you could protect yourself from the persistent strong wind.
Regarding the weather, Canaries is definitely a year-round destination. The islands will be ideal for a winter trip in December, January and even February. Temperatures are incredibly pleasant, and even in the middle of winter it is about 23 to 24 degrees Celsius. We went there in February, having an amazing time sunbathing at the beach and even swimming in the ocean, which was actually not as cold as we expected. But the weather was not always perfect. During our week-long stay we also experienced 2 days of rain.
We also visited the famous popcorn beach. The legend has it that every month as much as 10 kilograms of popcorn pebbles are taken from the beach by tourists. For us this place seems highly overrated. The popcorn is trampled, and in general it's hard to find any larger pieces, and the beach is located in a very remote area that could be accessed only by an unpaved road. We also visited the former capital of the island, Betancuria. The town is very nice, and it was good to finally see some vegetation, because Fuerte has a really dry, harsh landscape. The place is green, but it's also very touristy, with crowds brought by buses constantly passing through the center. Betancuria is home to, among other things, the oldest church of the island. If you want to bring some souvenirs from Fuerteventura, you should consider buying them here, as they are not that easy to come by in the other parts of the island. Along the way we also visited the viewpoints Mirador Las Peñitas and Mirador del Risco de las Peñas. But the biggest attraction for us was not the view but the squirrels. It's always fun to see the animals in their natural habitat, and those viewpoints give you a great opportunity to do it, even if the squirrels just want to grab some of your food. We also visited the village of Ajuy, again very touristy, but the black volcanic beach called Playa de Ajuy really impressed us. It looks a bit like from another planet, with shimmering black sand which almost looks like it was mixed with glass. The whole setting looks really magical, and the huge waves, several meters high, crashing against the cliff constantly remind you of the power of nature.
We decided to spend the last 3 days in Morro Jable in the south of the island. The weather in the south was more pleasant, and we could relax a little in our wonderful apartment, which was definitely the best Airbnb we've ever stayed in. It was located in the heart of the town, had an amazing large terrace overlooking the city and the ocean. It was clean, well maintained and very well equipped. We definitely recommend this place. We paid 138 euros per night for 4 people, but the owner has 5 other similar apartments in this building in different price ranges, so you can also book smaller ones, for example for 2 people only.
Morro Jable is a popular and very touristy town located in the south of the island. Honestly, we didn't expect much from it, but it turned out to be quite pleasant and positively surprised us. We especially like the beautiful beach, which is stretching for miles. It is a perfect town for a relaxing holiday. We have bad news for foodies. All the top-rated restaurants we visited turned out to serve very average food. It was much better in the north of the island. The only place we can recommend in Morro Jable is El Pellizco, where we ate quite good paella, which has to be ordered at least 3 hours in advance. And before you remind us in a comment, yes, we know that paella is not a traditional Canarian dish.
We also recommend trying the best coffee drink called Barraquito. You definitely need to check it out. It consists of condensed milk, liquor 43, espresso, frothed milk, cinnamon and lemon peel. At this point, it's worth mentioning that restaurants on the island have really strange opening days and hours. I think anyone who has traveled to Spain or other South European countries before won't be surprised by the siesta, but in Fuerteventura, siesta is an understatement. Some restaurants, for example, are open only from Monday to Wednesday from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m, so you have to check everything in advance on Google Maps. Many of them were also closed just during the weekends, and because of these strange opening hours, we didn't manage to visit most of the restaurants we had on our list. On top of that, a lot of restaurants are just closed all day and open at 7 p.m, so it is difficult to find anything open during the lunchtime.
While in Morro Jable, we visited Playa De Sotavento. It's a beach with blue turquoise water, which is considered the most beautiful in Fuerteventura, but opinions are strongly divided. We belong to a group of people that were rather disappointed, because instead of turquoise beach, we were greeted by a grey puddle. Nevertheless, the beach is quite unique, as it forms a sandy stretch at low tide, surrounded by water on both sides. Just remember to check the time of the tides, as they are completely different each day. The place looks very cool from a drone's perspective, but be careful not to lose it because the beach is very windy. A lot of people complain that unfortunately it's not a beach for sunbathing, because with the sand blowing in your eyes it's hard to stay there and relax. If you plan a trip to Fuerteventura on your own, it's essential to rent a car. Fuerteventura is not an island where you can easily get around by public transportation. In fact, it's the opposite. Towns, beaches and other attractions are miles apart, with desert landscapes and inhabited areas between them. There is a local Canarian car rental company called Sicar, which we already tried out last year when visiting Gran Canaria. In our opinion, it's the best rental company we've ever used, because not only are the prices affordable, but they also don't push to sell you any extra insurance, as the full insurance is already included in the base price. As a result, both the pickup and return of the car literally take a minute.
We hope you enjoyed our vlog from Fuerteventura, and if so, make sure to leave a thumbs up, as it makes a big difference for our small channel. Stay tuned and don't forget to subscribe, as very soon we'll be exploring another Canary Island and many other amazing destinations in Europe.